Hey guys, it's Scott and Amber from Diversified Acres.
Hey.
We are sitting here in our kitchen, in our trailer, going over making a drawing for our little shop house that we're going to build. And this is originally we drew it out at 60 by 80, which turns out that that's what we'd like to have, not what we necessarily need right now. It's pretty large. But we want something big enough that we can get our campers in. That we can get, we can also build an office in. And a little efficiency apartment storage building or something inside of it.
The office is going to be our bedroom for a while.
It is. We are actually going to move into the office and live there. And then be able to have our campers parked inside the building to protect them from the weather. Be able to get the sawmill in and some of the equipment in out of the weather. And have room to stage our salt material in out of the weather. Some of it anyway, not all of it. And be able to work on our future home, which we are going to build a timber frame home. So, yeah, who would have ever thought a homesteader building a timber frame home? I know we're the first. Go ahead and say it. Comment down below. We're the first. No, we're not the first, but and we won't be the last. But same to you guys out there. You weren't the first either. So we dropped this building down to a little bit smaller. Right now we're at a 48 by 80. That gives us room to get the sawmill in, the two campers in, the 20 by 20 bedroom, the 10 by 20 bathroom / storage laundry facility built into this building. So it's going to give us room for that as well. We're going to heat this building with either natural gas from our natural gas well on the farm, or we're going to heat it from the from an outside wood burning boiler that we also have. So this is what we're sitting here doing. We are actually on our new homestead now. About 2 months ago, Amber and I had spent the last 4 months previous to that running around the country, running around Kentucky, in this area looking for a homestead that we were really, really interested in, that we just loved and couldn't do without. And she found this one here. And I'll let her tell how she found it, because we both were looking. We were down to the wire. We'd found a piece of property that, like she says, we weren't in love with.
But it was basically we had to go somewhere.
We needed somewhere to go. We were staying in our camper in a camper park or a campground, and we really needed to sign on the line to at least get us a piece of property to get started with. Hopefully be able to get a garden out, and hopefully be able to get our meat put up for the winter, and so on and so forth. And time was of the essence, and we were just running out of it. So the piece of property was fairly cheap. We were going to go ahead and sign on it and just stay there. So she found this one here, and you want to tell your endeavor as you went through on it as well.
We were on our way here to look at the other property, and I knew we didn't love it, so I was like, well, let's just look at more websites. So we tried looking for something else, and this property had popped up. So we met with our realtor, which was Lakin Ruth. She's amazing, by the way. She walked through the whole property with us. Scott walked up a massive hill. We walked halfway up it, and me and her kind of pooped out on him, but it just kept getting steeper and steeper. We're like, you know what, we're just gonna stay here. But we were walking down like 3 paddocks in. I was like, that's where I want my house. So I fell in love with the property right away.
And
not
it is
so much with the front, but
yeah.
it was a little hard to get past that. But
the property has a it was founded in the 1800s by a guy who came here looking for work. He found work working for another man who was a wealthy man and owned a lot of property, and he worked off his debt for this property. He come up here and he built himself a log cabin, a one-room log cabin, and then a barn, and then later added another one-room log cabin next to it and adjoined the two. That both of those structures still stand here today. You'll see those in the videos coming up. Both of those still stand, and we really wanted to rebuild the cabin and get it back.
I love the cabin.
Back to livable conditions. It's in really good condition, actually, for being trees that were cut down in the 1800s, hand hewed, and by a single man, him and his shotgun and his dog, or who settled this property, and then later on to find his wife and continue to build the homestead and whatnot. Maybe we'll go into the history of that later on in another video. But we were really big. We're really big on preserving that history, because we've learned so much from the history of both of our families. Our grandparents and our great grandparents, and so on down the line, and so much of that history is only preserved in our minds, in our heads, and what we were told and showed and taught. And as we're doing with our video documentaries, we're preserving it through through technology, to where our great grandchildren can sit down and watch us and see, hey, my parents or grandparents went out to this piece of property that was there, and reclaimed it and made it into what you'll see in the future of what we make this place. When we got here, we had no running water. We had no electricity. We had no.
We have running water.
Well,
we have a well.
We have a
it
well.
Smells, but we have one.
And we had.
There
is a well on the property, but there's also a creek that is fed by 14 springs up through the holler, and we're going to tame one of those and use that as our fill system for our gravity fed system that'll feed us down here. I think we can set a tank about 100 and something feet up in elevation from where our shop house is going to be at, and also up above where our home is going to be, and we can feed both of those from those tanks from the springs at the top of the hill. It's about 100 feet, so at 0.433 psi per foot, we should be able to get 43 pounds roughly of water pressure.
I hope that's really good water pressure, because I don't know what that means.
It ought to give us a little bit of water pressure. It's not much, it's not what you have in the city or anything like that, but I think it'll be enough to maintain the camper, and we can always put a pump on it to further assist it. So
that is one thing I definitely miss, is water pressure.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing. This is where we are. We've got a lot more happening. We've since the property had power back here to it. and we have since been able to tap onto the grid. We spent about 3.5 weeks, maybe 4 weeks here without electricity, running off a generator and battery, and the electricity was already right here, so we tapped onto it. One, because my job really requires me to have it. My home is my office, and so I work from home a lot and remote in via computer. So I needed the electricity in order to be able to do that. And there as well, I needed the internet in order to be able to do that. Both of them were available for us here, so that's what we did. We have that. With that being said, we did our stint of off-the-grid living. And I can't say I really enjoyed it all that much. Nowhere near of what the convenience brings of having these things. We could do it. We could do it very easily. We could do it.
I don't like it.
But I just don't really see any sense in it, especially with work. If I didn't have the job that I have, it would make it a lot easier. But I have to have it for the job.
And a 2-year-old.
And a 2-year-old as well. I mean,
he don't watch TV that much, but like at nighttime, he needs it. I think he needs it. I don't know. He might not need it, but right now, since we've moved, it has been so difficult to get him to go to bed. Just to go to bed.
Yeah. It's different for him because it's a different place. He misses his bedroom, I'm sure. He misses his bed. He misses our bed. Yeah, and I miss his bed probably as much as he does, if not more. I know Kayla misses her bed in her bedroom. So, but that's where we're at, and we're really excited about this. We're so excited about this, man. I can't wait to show you some more footage. So we're going to try and start putting more videos together on a daily basis. We probably won't get them released daily. Maybe a couple videos, 2, maybe 3 a week. Just because we have so much stuff going on right now. And I know it's summertime, so you're not going to get to watch them. But guess what? Winter will be here. You'll be able to go back and look at them and see where we started and where we're going with this. We've got enough timber on our property here. We have a little over 100 acres, and we have enough timber here to be able to build our timber frame home, as well as sell timber from the property from custom timber, and do the board and bat for the 48 by 80 shop. So if you know much about that, we have a great deal of timber here. It's going to take a minute to get things pulled together, but as soon as we do, man, we're coming at you wide open with updates as to what's going on. So that's it. I guess we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.